Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Okay. So, how is it going with you, Daniel? Is everything fine on your side?
Yeah, right now everything is fine.
Okay, that is good. And um, are you able to make use of any of the files that I passed to you for the project, like the controller and the view
Um,
I passed to you?
yeah, I actually got
You
use the
managed them.
file.
You managed to make them work inside your project.
Yeah, I managed to. I just have to change a little bit of the project a little bit, adding a few of what's it called, the video stuff and like that. I just need to know what kind of file it takes for me to what's it called, upload it inside the database. What kind of
Okay.
type?
Okay. So, Danielle, just be advised that my advice to you is that not don't save any videos or images inside the database. What you can do is that you can save the links only. Okay, I think you are
Database.
aware of that, right?
Okay. All right.
So
Sure. I
yeah,
can.
so that you don't complicate the matter on yourself. At first, you didn't want the database to be so big, and so typically you have to store the video somewhere. You can put it on a Google Drive or even upload it to YouTube, which is also okay. Just make it unlisted, and then so the practical solution is to put it on YouTube because it's free. Google Drive on the long run will not be a practical because you have to pay for it after certain limit. If you exceed 15 gig, so you have to pay for the videos. So this is, of course, I understand that you will never upload so much amount of videos, but I want you to be able to answer your professors if they question your logic. Okay. So
Okay.
even Udemy and sometimes last time I believe Coursera. So this is platforms that offer courses, university courses for students. So and even for postgraduate, also they have videos. So last time they used to actually put their videos on YouTube and they put it unlisted. It means that it's not open to public. So unless you have the link to the video, else is able to open it. So did you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Yes, I understand. I understand. So I just need to upload the link of the video
Exactly.
inside.
So that will be limited in size. I mean, the length it just I mean the length of the link will be just, I think, less than a paragraph. So it will be not a big link, especially I think you have to try it on your own, but sometimes also YouTube, if you have a channel, YouTube will give you a compact link. So that will not consume any size. So, but again, you need to understand the logic base, or so you have to verify or not verify, I think, um, give reasoning for all your actions in the project. So when you are questioned, then you are able to tell why you didn't put the video, but you put just a link. So definitely nobody want to put big files inside the database because it will be big. It will be troublesome in maybe finding a hosting that can accept so big database. If you want to backup the database or even transfer it from one place to another, it will be big issues if you are storing images or videos inside. So practical, I have seen that from also many seniors in the field that you talk about that. Don't ever put big files inside a database. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's good. Before I ask you for the homework, I would like to share with you something. Actually, I believe will will make some will be of help to you. So I talked to you last time about doing something called left join, and that you will see it, you will see this left join and inner join in both the dashboard for student and also for possibly the teacher. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that this is very clear to you. So this is how a left join looks like. So A is actually a table and B is a table. And if we say we want to left join, so this is the SQL statement that can do the left join for you. So if you can see here, when we decide to left join, so we say select all or select asterisk from A, okay? And then we say left join B. So it means that we want to get everything, we need to list everything from A. And then we will check from the B side whatever that match our condition here. So we want to take table A and make it left join with table B based on what? Based on this key. Okay, so the key say that, okay, we have a key here, and this is, so this is a key is a column. Okay, so basically it is a column inside A and a similar common column inside B. Okay, so again, this is theoretical. How we can actually okay, so this is just a simple example. Okay, so can you look at this table and tell me what do you understand from this table?
This table contains the employee ID, name, and the ID of the department.
Okay, that is great. So, okay, so it means that if we have a company, this could be representing the employees inside the company. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then now that is good. Have a look here. This is the department table. So the department have a department ID and it have a department name. So, okay, we have a HR, IT, finance. So far, okay? Okay, can you look please one more time here? 1, 2, 3, at these 3 departments. Okay, and now I will go back. I'll try to go back. Let me see if I'm able to do that. Let me go back. Yeah, okay. So I want you to see that, okay, we did not write here in this employees table, we did not write the department name. We only refer to the department with the ID number. Am I right? So yeah, what we have common in these 2 tables is actually the department ID. So this key is the department ID in the employees table. And the key in that can tie the employees table and we can make join. So it is in the department table is the department ID also here. Okay. So you will see that we have 101 and 102 and 104. And we don't have anything other than that. Let us go back. Okay, so you have here 103, but it is not listed inside the department table. Okay, and you have one employee that actually does not have any department ID. So if you do an inner join like that, so this is an inner join, and this inner join will actually do what? Will retrieve the rows where there is a match in both tables based on the department ID. Okay, so this is the select statement. Of course, when you have it in Laravel, it is slightly, it have a special format. But if you understand the meaning, you should be able to understand what's going on here. So, okay, now this is, if we look, if you remember before, that was somehow the drawing. They said that this is table A, this is table B, and I believe I can get another color here. And I believe I can start to make some hashing here. So when you do a left join, you are interested in getting everything in A and check if there is a match on B. Okay, but our main concern is A. So we want to list. And sorry, I apologize. I totally apologize. This is inner join. I totally apologize. I actually explained on the wrong side. Give me a second, please. So actually, we should be looking here. I totally apologize. So actually, this is the left join. Sorry, I chose yeah, maybe I switched the slides when I was arranging them. So actually, sorry. So we want to retrieve all the rows from employees that match the rows on the department. And if there is no match, we show null or null, okay, for the department name. So, okay, we noticed that in the department ID table or the department table, we have, I think, 101 and 102 and 104 and as an IDs. And we was missing 103. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, this is exactly what we should be doing. So we should get all from A, and A is, if you see here, select, let me see, employees is the A table. So we want to get everything from actually the employees table. So every name, so what did you decide to bring? You decide to bring employee's name, and this is the column that you want to show. Department name. So you want to show the department name in front of every employee. Okay, good. But then we have a problem. In the employees table, we have a number that's called 103 as an ID for the department. But inside the department table, we don't have that. We don't have it listed. Okay. So, okay. But our concern is to list all the employees. How I know that? Because we started that. So everything from the select, after the from, we mentioned the table A. So which is the part that we want to get all, which is the table that we want to get all the content from it. What column we want to bring from A, it depends on what you write here. So when we write employees dot name, it means that I want to get the column that is called name from the employees table. And I want to get the column depart name from the department table. A, you know it because it's mentioned first. So employees represent the A table. Left join, anything after the left join will be mentioning our B table. So this is our B table. So our B table, we will only retrieve whatever possible that we can, whatever information that we are able to get it from it. It's not necessary that we list all the department here. That's not our interest. Our interest is to actually list all everything from table A. Table A is the employees. So we need to list the 4 employees that was listed in the employees table. So for Alice, we find that, okay, she have maybe 101 and as an ID. And then when we query, so it's actually what is actually it is doing. So if you look here, okay, sorry, I have to delete a bit here. Okay, can you see Alice? So Alice, department is 101. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so 101, we see, okay, so from this table alone, you are not able to get the department name. You have to query, you have to get that information and go and query the departments. So 101 is actually the HR. But actually, do you know why we did not just list directly the department name inside the employees table? Any idea why we didn't do that?
because we want to minimize the words.
We want to minimize the text inside the database. Okay, because okay, if every employee, and also you also have to understand anything. So this is we want to minimize the size of our database. So the amount of space that you want to reserve for a text is quite much more than whatever you want to reserve for storing just a number. Okay, so if imagine that you have maybe 20 employees in actually the HR. So it means that you have to write this HR in the employees table for maybe 10 times. It's the same exact word, okay? And the problem with the text, if you want to reserve a space for it in the database, it actually, you are not able to say, to reserve a place for each row alone. So you want to find the biggest possible text that, so can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the biggest or the longest possible text that you can store, and you want to make the column size that can accommodate for maybe finance. Maybe finance is the biggest. Okay. So again, if you didn't do that, you only reserve a place for 2 characters like that. You want to insert the finance inside the department table, you will face a problem. You will face an error. Is that clear to you or no?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So again, and let me remind you here, the ID 103 is missing. It's not listed here. Clear? Is that clear to you?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Can you recognize that we do not have the ID 104 listed here. We have 103 instead. Okay. So again, one more thing, please let me explain this to you. It is very easy to search the database for numbers if we want to compare it to searching it for text. Searching text takes long time, okay? Because you have to compare each character to each other. So it can be small, it can be capital, it can be small, and so on. But numbers, it's just easy. You are able to compare it much more easier than comparing 2 texts together. So it is a computing intensive operation to do comparison between 2 strings. But when you want to compare two integers like that, so it's very easy. If you want to search this column for a specific ID, it is much easier than if you just write search for me all the employees in the HR department. That will take some time. Okay, so we want to improve the performance of the database. That's why we design our foreign key column like that, in using numbers, not using text. And that's why we call the relation between, I mean, that's why when we say this design it's called like relational database design. So we are designing the tables to have relation between each other. What is the relation? We have a primary key, we have a foreign key, and this foreign key can be used to tie the employees table to other tables, which is in this case the department table. So far clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Actually, do you benefit from this kind of explanations, or you already know it upfront?
I actually learned this before
Okay.
during my university time, because we
Okay.
have a specific subject just for what's it
SQL.
called? SQL, yeah.
Oh, SQL or databases?
Databases.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is actually you are aware of it.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm
Okay.
aware of the SQL joins, inner joins, and everything.
Okay. So do you understand why here? So okay, that's actually good. Do you understand why we have null here?
We have null because it does not have does from this example, the name does not have a department inside the database. And
Okay.
because we said
Okay. So, okay. So do you understand what is this condition is doing?
It takes from each table. It takes the what's it called? It takes the column from each table. For example, for the employees, it takes the department ID from the employees table, and the departments it takes the ID from the department's ID.
Okay. Okay. That's good. But did you notice that there is no IDs here listed here? There's only a name and department name. So this means that this condition is used at the background. So they use it only to collect data based on that match that condition. So if HR ID, maybe it's 101, match Alice name ID internally, so both of them is 101, it means that they will list Alice with HR. But at the end, this is done internally by the SQL itself. So it's not showing to you, they don't show you here any department ID. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, that's actually good. So you understand that?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay, that is actually good. Let me see. Then tell me if you actually understand what is the meaning of an inner join and why only we are having 2 employees that is listed here. We already know that we have 4 employees.
Okay. From inner join,
Yes.
it takes it contradicts what is the same between those two tables.
So it means that if we cannot find the employee department ID inside the department ID, the department table, we will not list the employee here. This what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So it means that whatever we get as a null here or null here, so we are not listing it in the previous table. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's actually good. Okay. So if you understand that, then it's perfect. I would stop the sharing. Please stop your sharing on your side. And tell me, what is the difficulty that you face when you was doing the homework, please?
I think the difficulty is on the example 2.
Okay.
Okay, so the first is I use all the I use what's the exercise wants me to do, which is have the while loop sum in, find the even number, and
Okay.
then plus those even numbers and show the product of all this, show the sum of all the even numbers that's been collected using the while loop.
Okay. So when the exercise is actually giving you detailed instructions on what you write, that does this help you actually? Does this make it easy for you?
Yeah, it's easy because if when you say I was having trouble with finding the even number on how to do this, but when I look back and read the instruction very slowly, it says that if the number is even, add it to the sum. So then it got me thinking on how should I find the even number. So I'm using finding the modulus where it has no what's it called, remainder,
Yes.
and then use that sum and use that number to plus plus the number from the even number each,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
continue the while loop with +1.
Okay. Excellent. And then what is the issue with the other one, with the other exercise?
The other exercise, I couldn't understand what it mean by the inefficiency in the given code. I couldn't find what's the inefficiency,
Inefficiency. So
sorry,
yes, no problem. Okay.
inefficiency
Yeah.
in the code. And
Oh,
then when I tried to put the example of, I think this is the one. Yes. I tried to put this outside the same outside the.
I think I copied that from wrongly. So the last line. Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah. Okay, you can continue, please. I will explain that.
So when I tried to find this, what's wrong with this, I couldn't know what meaning of it. Then I look back the numbers is that from 1 to 100 for some, 1 to something. Then it says it's like the same thing. No, sum of even number from 1 to 100 like that. Then I maybe thought that you accidentally copy
Yes, it's true.
copy
Yeah,
the
the,
last
the
code.
last line, yes, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is by
So
accident. Yeah, you are correct.
yeah. So I
So, okay.
didn't.
But this
So I
code
did.
runs that you write it, this code that
Yeah, this code runs.
what it does.
It sum up the numbers. Sum up the numbers until it add to 100. I think. Yeah.
So it means, let me try to press here, please. Yeah, okay, that's a good screen. So did you ever hear about this equation? So you say the sum equals, let me try to remember. So if you want to sum numbers from 1 until 100, did you ever know that these can be equal something like that? Did you ever see this equation before?
I saw it before.
Oh,
Along during my high school days, I think.
oh, really? That's interesting. So if I tell you that, are you able to add numbers from 1 until 200 in less than 30 seconds? Do you think it is possible using your brain?
Adding in 30 seconds, maybe if I find the right formula, yeah, maybe it can.
Okay, that is a good thinking. So, okay, yes, you are correct. If you find the correct formula, yes, you are able to add from 1 until 200. But let me please do a sharing to you, please. I would like to highlight that to you just fast. Can you stop the sharing? Yeah, okay. Okay. Can you see these tables in front of you?
Yeah, I can see a
Okay,
table.
so, okay, actually just fast enough so that we don't consume time here. So this is a way that you can use to add numbers from 1 until 200. So the way is that you divide the numbers from 1 until 200 into and put them into two tables. The first table, you put numbers from 1 until 100. And the second table, you put the remaining numbers, which is starting from 101, because we ended the first table in 100, right? So it means that to continue the remaining of the numbers from 100 until 200, so we need to put from 101 and 102 and 103 until 200 on the second table. So it means that we already divided the numbers here into just two tables. And okay, the trick here is to actually try to find some similarities or some pattern. So that is how it always works. If you find a pattern in something, then you are able to make an equation for it. So if I add 1 to 200, it is actually equal 201. If I add 2 to the second number in the second table, so I'm getting 2 plus 199 equal 201 also. But what if I try to add 100 to 101? It also results in 201. So it means that all these numbers here, if I start to adding them, if I start to add 3 plus 198, it will also result in 201. So it means that I have, since each table contains 100 values, and each addition of them result in 201, if I multiply the 100 by the submission result here, actually I will end up with something like, I believe, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so the point here that I managed to just do this by knowing this kind of formula, I'm able to come up with a result very fast. Just multiply 100 by 201, because we have here 100 values, and each addition result in 201. So we are actually trying to add all these numbers. So if I add all the 201 here, I have how many values I need to add? I have 100 values of 201 that need to be added. So instead of doing 201 plus 201 and so on, I just multiplied. I know that it is 100 number, so I multiply the 100 by 201. So that is the result. Is that complicated? A bit complicated?
Yeah, a bit complicated.
Okay.
So you means that from what's it called? From the sum of T1 and T2, we got the 201, and then plus the 201 until I got the final answer. Is that?
Yes. So yes. So the point here, yes, by adding this 201 and this 201 and this 201 until you reach 100 values of adding, when you add these two numbers, you are actually adding the numbers in the two tables. So at the end, you're supposed to do this. But you want to simplify it or find a pattern that can be done. So instead of going 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and then keep adding it in your brain, that is a mission impossible. So until you reach 199 plus 200, so this is, you need to all do it in your brain. It's actually quite impossible to even do it with a calculator in less than 30 seconds. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's why we try to divide the tables and try to see if we are able to find a pattern by doing this kind of addition and resulting in a similar number for each addition. When we have a similar number like that, we know that each table got 100 values. So it means that if I multiply the 100 values that I have been adding together to the result of the addition, I'm able to get actually the sum from 1 until 200. And actually, the point here So if you look, if we try to analyze also from where I get this 100. So actually, you get this 100 by this is, if you consider n equal 200, so you actually divided this 200 by 2. So this resulted if we divided the n by 2. And what about this 201? What is its relation to 200? So actually you added 1 to the 200 to reach 201, to reach this number. So it means if I say that 200 is actually equal n, so it does mean that this is like n plus 1. If n is equal to 200, so you will add n plus 1, you end up having this. And you multiply both. And this, and actually both is this formula that actually you got from a while ago. So this formula, if you use it, you are actually able to sum any numbers. Let me try to verify for you. So if I want to tell you that I want to change the numbers I want to sum from 1 until 400, that is bigger challenge. But if we follow the same pattern, so instead of dividing, making two tables, each one of them is from 1 until 100. Now we have a different story because the numbers here, or n now, is equal 400. So I divided my two tables and the numbers into two tables, and one having numbers from 1 until 200, and the second one is having numbers from 201 until 400. So I follow the same pattern, but I doubled the number of values in each table. So now the number of values on each table is actually 200 values. So here you find 399. So you add 2 plus 399, you end up with 401. You add 1 to 400, you also reach 401. Is that got similarity to what we have done here? It seems so. So it means that I'm always having the result of an addition n plus 1. Also here, if n equal 200, I'm having the result of the addition 201, which is n plus 1. So if you do the same here, so it's also ending up with 401. So, okay, now have a look at these 200 values. These 200 values, what is it? Its relation to 100. It's almost double. And what is it? Its relation to the n itself. It's half of the n. So it is exactly same like what we mentioned here. So the 100 values that we need to put in each table is actually comes by dividing the n by 2. So if your n become 400, you want to divide it by 2, it become 200. If your n become 800, you want to divide it by 2, it becomes 400. Is it complicated?
No, it's not.
It's still complicated?
No, it's not. It's not complicated. It's just
New.
It's just new, yeah.
Okay.
So you're using the formula that is like n times n plus 1 divided by 2 to get the whole sum of the number, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So if you know this, if you have something that you know the formula of it, then you don't use a while loops in. So it's more efficient that you use a formula one shot because you don't have to loop. And so imagine that you have your while loop have to loop maybe 20,000 times. If your n is equal 20,000, can you imagine your while loop will run how many times to be able to reach the sum?
2,000 times.
That's a lot. So that is a lot of computing power that you need to spend. But if you are wise enough and know this formula, or not wise, because again, it's not about you memorize the formulas. It's about you use your brain to try to find patterns in what you are doing. And actually, everything is like that. If you find a pattern of anything, then you're able to simplify the thing. So if you find a formula for something that is happening, a repetitive action, so you are actually able to put the formula directly to it without having to loop this amount of time. What if we have n is equal 1 million? So that is, we have to loop 1 million times. And if I'm able to do it only in one line, that is amazing. Imagine that I just have to put n equal 1 million. And then I have to add 1 to the 1 million. And then I have to divide by 2. I multiply both and divide by 2. Wow, that's quite simple. That will not take much, that can take only a fraction of the time. If this takes maybe, I don't know how many minutes to execute, if it is 1 million, you actually here got milliseconds to actually reach, maybe even less than 1 millisecond. You can execute that with the current processor speed. So did I make sense to you so far? So this is what we call inefficiency of the code. The code is not efficient. But this does not mean that every code that you use a while loop, you have to check for that. But of course, if you can see that there could be a pattern and you can try to spend some time to analyze it, definitely it's worth it. It improves your brain. Forget about, we are not coding to impress the people in front of us. We are coding because the more you code and you use your brain is your biggest investment. When you spend time to improve how it works or make it think, it will help you. It will help you later in making decisions and any aspect of life that you want to use it in, even if it is far away from programming. So spending the time, and even if you fail at the end to find the relation, spending the time to use your brain actually is something good for you. It improves your way of thinking. Did I make sense to you so far from what I said?
Yeah, makes sense.
Any comment on your side?
No, I think I understand what you're trying to say. If I can find less ways, like finding the right formula to do my coding, like one less than can cut to one line or something, it'd be more faster. More faster like that, right?
Yes, correct. You are correct. Yes. Are you able now to use that formula to find the sum inside your code?
Sure, I can try.
I stop the sharing. You can stop, please, the sharing.
Was it plus 100? Then
Plus 1, n plus 1.
like this, right? And then
You have to do the division by 2.
okay.
So the formula is
So n
n
times
multiplied
n plus 1 divided by 2. Yeah.
Okay, can you put this to 200? Okay, that's good. Okay, then you can stop sharing and then let me continue sharing, please. Okay, can you look at this code and tell me what is the difference between this code and this code?
The uses of curly braces for the code in the
Uh,
while loop.
Okay, and what is the effect of using or removing the curly braces?
I think it counted from I think it just count from 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And while the while loop continues until is less or equals to 10, right?
Yes, less than or equal to 10. So, okay, let me just try to explain that. So we start with x equals 7. When we come here to the loop, so we will check if 7 is less than or equal. So x equals 7, we will check that. Is it 7 less than or equal 10? Yes or no?
Yes.
So we increase x. So now x become 8. And then here we print x. So the first thing we print is going to be 8. Then we go to the loop again. So the loop again will check x against 10. This is the condition. So is it 8 is less or equal 10? True. Am I right?
True. Yeah.
So we increase x by 1. So it means that x now doesn't have 8 anymore. It have 9. And then we print x, and now, so we ended up printing 9 because x now is equal 9. And then we end the loop and we go up again and check the condition. Is it still satisfied or not? So instead of checking against 8, we put 9 because this is the current value of x. Is it 9 less than equal 10? True or false?
True.
True. Okay, so it means that we increment x again, it become 10, and then we print the 10. And that's why you see a 10 here, printed out. And why they are printed beside each other? Any idea?
Because we didn't specify on or it printed as a new line.
Excellent.
Just
Excellent. Excellent. Yes, you're correct, 100%. So, okay, now we printed the 10, and then we go back to check the condition. Is it 10 less than or equal 10? It is true. It is equal. So it means that I need to add x again by 1. So I add 1 to 10 equal 11. So I store 11 inside x. And then I print x. So that's why you see 11 printed out. Okay? This is if we are talking about this code. But now in this code, if we didn't put a curly braces, so automatically Java will say that only the x plus plus, sorry, is belonging to the while. He will, so the indentation means that space that you put here for this line actually does not make any sense, and it is not counted by Java. Java does not think that this is effective or anything. So it means that in the eyes of Java, it will think that the while content is only x plus plus. So what will happen is that you start with x equals 7, and then you come to this condition, which is we have done before. X is less than or equal 10, which is true. And then he keep adding x plus 1. So now x started by 7, he add 1 to it. Now it become equal 8. Am I right? But he will not print anything because he know if there is no curly braces, only one line belongs to while. So he will never execute that. So he will never print the 8 out. So he will, once he finished x plus plus, he will go to the while again to check the condition. But now he will checking 8 is less than or equal 10 or not. It is true. So he will add another one here to the x, which is equal 9. Okay. So far, is it complicated like that?
No, I think I understand.
Okay. So, and he will keep adding until you reach that x is actually equal 10. And you add 1 to that, so it becomes 11. And then he go and check the condition. So the condition will actually fail if you reach 11. So is it 11 is less than or equal 10? False. This is not correct. This is not true. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it means that we will exit the loop. The loop, since the condition become false, we will never execute the loop again. And then only then we start to execute the next line after the while loop, which is to print the last value of x. What is the last value of x? Is 11. That's why you see 11 printed out here. Now, did you understand the difference between this code and this code?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Okay.
So which means if I added curly braces, the code will read one by one the line. While if I do not add the curly braces, the code only read one line, and after the last line, the code will get the output of that. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yes, 100% correct. Yes. So now I think it is more safer. My advice to you, it is more safer to always use curly braces so that even your eyes does not confuse the code. Sometimes if you put a code like that, it might confuse your eye if you are not focusing 100%. So my advice to you, always use the curly braces. At least you make it clear to your brain if you are not focusing 100%, and you don't make a mistake thinking that this will actually belong to the while, but actually, in fact, even though it is indented at the same line indentation like x plus plus, but still does not bring to the while. So it will not be executed inside the while. It will be only executed once after the while finish. Not like every time here. So we executed the print statement how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. Here we only executed it one time because it is outside the loop. So always try to use curly braces to avoid mistakes. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that. Okay, have a look at this code and please let me know if you understand what this code is doing and what could be the issue in this code.
Like the code is trying to find its minimum value. Is that correct? Because of the
No,
dot. No.
no. So, okay, what do you understand from this condition?
This condition is the loop will happen if the count is more than 0.
Okay, how to stop this loop?
Stop this loop.
How to make this loop will only stop if the condition become false. Am I right?
Yeah. The loop will not stop. It will be like an infinite loop.
Yes, you're
Correct?
correct. Yes, you are correct. But why is it infinite loop?
Because we didn't set the condition that if anything happens for the code to stop.
Okay, you are correct. So the condition here is not designed to actually stop. Yes, it's true. So the condition say that we always want the count to be bigger than 0 to make it true. And we always increasing the count. We are not decreasing it. So it means that the count will never become 0 or -1. So we will keep increasing from 1 until whatever the end of the possible. So, okay, inside the RAM, this count, which is the variable count here, it is stored in a place that can carry the biggest available value for an int, which is quite actually big. Okay, but the problem is you keep increasing until you reach the maximum value that the variable reserved in the memory place can actually take, and then you will start moving from positive to actually negative. So it means that there is the maximum value. If you can you please do something for me? Can you please write this in a print statement and see what it shows to you? Integer dot maximum value. Just put it in a print statement and see what is the integer value that comes out for you.
Yeah, it
How many digits?
shows 10 digits, but it's positive.
Okay, excellent. And then can you please also put this in a print statement and tell me how many digits?
Same number as the max value, but in negative.
Okay, so these two, it is actually the range uh, of, not the range, this is the maximum values that if you reserve a place as for integer inside the memory, this is the maximum values that can be stored inside that place in the memory. Okay, and it should not exceed that, because this is the maximum possible values that can be stored. If you have a number that will need to be stored in more bigger than 10 digits, you should not use integer to store it, because it will not be efficient to store a number bigger than 10 digits inside an integer data type. You have to choose a bigger data type, or another way, like double is bigger than integer, long is bigger than integer. It have a bigger place in the memory. So, and how you know the highest and the lowest or possible values that you can store? By actually printing this. I want you to write this code, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so does it run with you? And what is the result?
The result is the same number as the minimum value.
So this is the result, right?
Yeah,
And it seems that it ends. So the code ends or hangs.
it ends.
Okay. So do you think that having the count by this value will end the loop?
Mhm. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it means that once it flipped from positive to negative, it actually reached that value. Am I right? This is what what you're thinking at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you understand, even though we were at plus plus, how we reach actually the negative value here?
And how? I don't know. How?
So actually, you keep increasing the value until you reach the maximum value, which is a positive equivalent of that, but without the minus. But once you press more to increase the count by one and so on, so actually you make something happen that is called overflow. Did you ever hear about overflow before?
I don't think so. I think I never heard.
So this overflow is that how to say, there is a place in the memory. This is this place here. You store the data, and there is one place that is reserved for storing the sign. So if it is zero, then this number is positive. If it is one, then this number is negative. So when you add one to the maximum place that you are able to actually accommodate for an integer, uh, an overflow happens, and then you start to flip this value from, you add one to it, from zero it become one. So when it become one, the number become automatically negative. And then when you try to check this condition with this negative value, so you will find that the count is no longer bigger than zero. It is actually lower than zero by a huge number. So you will never, you will actually terminate the while loop, and then you will start printing the value inside the count. Did I make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So
Okay.
which means that the while loop will go until it exceeds the maximum value, and
Yes.
then it reverse it to negative, and then it stops the count, stops the loop, right?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So if you want to know that for sure, but don't do it inside the class because it will take long time, you can put this print statement in another print statement inside the loop. But it means that it have to print all this. So you see here how many millions you have to print 2 billion values into your screen, and that will take so much time. So this is just for you to understand the sequence, and then only then you are able to see once this maximum positive value is reached, and then it is the overflow happen, and then you start to see negative. So only then the while loop will terminate. But again, you will not be able to see it because this happens in memory unless you put this print statement inside here. So far clear? But don't try it now.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So we move to the next and we say, okay. I want you to look at this code and tell me again what could be the issue here.
Mhm. So right now the issue is that they have no curly braces,
Okay.
and I think the loop will stop after it reaches 13 in a
Yes,
sense.
yes, yes, correct.
And then it will print count each count.
Okay. Can you write this code, please? I think it's similar to the previous code, right? Just only a
Yes.
small modification.
Right then.
Okay. And does the code stop?
Right now it doesn't. It keeps printing 10
13.
over and over.
10 and over and over. Oh, it never increments the 10.
Yeah, it never increments 10.
Why?
Mm, Maybe
Even though you already
because
put here count plus plus.
yeah, maybe because every time it's plus, it reverses back to 10.
Um, okay. Can I ask you something? Can you put the curly braces here?
Now it just right 10, 11, 12.
And it terminates.
Yeah, and it's
Okay. Can you remove these curly braces here and you move it and put it here?
it continuously uh it continuously just printed 10.
Okay, so the place of the curly braces affect a lot how the code executes, right? It seems like
Yeah.
that. Okay, what is the difference between putting the curly braces here and putting it here, in your opinion, from what you notice?
From what I noticed, it just keep continuing to initiate the count since it's less than 13, but it doesn't add the count.
Doesn't
No,
add one to the count? Am I right?
add one to the count, so it doesn't stop the loop.
Okay, so by just moving the curly braces, we managed to simulate that the case without a single curly braces. So it means that when we put the curly braces here, it's exactly as if we didn't put any curly braces. Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so what again? What is the issue again if we didn't put the curly braces and we put the count plus plus? Why the count plus plus does not have effect if we didn't use the curly braces? It doesn't add. It doesn't add one to the count. It keep printing 10. Why?
Maybe because it's it read it read the what's it called, the printed coded first before it can count, before the code can read the count plus plus. That's why it continuously
Oh,
showing 10.
okay. No, the correct thing, just not to confuse you. So we already said, if we didn't put curly braces, the while content is only one line after the while, which is the system.out.println. So it means that we will never execute the count plus plus if we didn't put a curly braces. We need a curly braces to actually tell the while that it have to execute this line and this line. If we remove the curly braces, the Java think that the only statement that belong to the while is this one. It means that we never increment the count by one inside the while.
Okay. I think I understand. So that means the code never understood that the while loop, the count plus plus is in the same family inside the while loop. Is that right?
Excellent. Yes, correct. You understand it correct. Yes. So that's why it's more safer for you always to put curly braces. That is more clearer and less confusion for you to avoid this kind of errors. So I will call this kind of error is a logic error. It means that you used a wrong algorithm to build your code. Your code have a problem, but it is not a syntax problem. A syntax means that you forgot this semicolon, you didn't put line correctly, you put it maybe LL, and so on. So this is a syntax error that always the Java will detect for you. But this kind of logic errors that you designed the algorithm itself in a wrong way, Java will not detect it for you. Understood?
Yeah, understood.
Okay. So I would say, again, the correct way to correct the code, like what we said, we just add the correct curly braces here. I think this is clear, right? We can move to the next.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So let me, again, this is what you have done before. I think you have done this code before, right? This is clear to you. This is how we add from 1 until 100 or even any numbers that we want. You have done that before when you decided the n equal 100 and you also change it to 200. Am I right?
Yeah.
So this code is clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. The second thing is, are you able to read the text, please? Read this text.
Write a loop to determine how many numbers from 1327 to 4542 that are multiples of 3, but not multiples of 5. Okay.
To get if a number is multiple of another number, so if you want to know multiples of 3, you get the modulus 3. If you want to know that if the number here is multiples of 5, you say modulus 5. So this is how you do it. So if you want to count how many numbers from here to here that is satisfying this condition, so it is similar to what you have done in the exercise when you write the if loop and you make modulus 2 to check if the number is even or not, and you counted it. You remember when you count that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you understand now this code, or is it hard to digest?
No, I think I understand the code.
Why we have n plus num plus plus?
To plus the integer number until it reaches to 4542.
Excellent. Okay. And why we do this count plus plus?
This count plus plus to increase the count for the
And,
loop.
okay. And the number ending up, I mean, what we are going to get out from the count after if we printed it here. I mean, what is this indication for? What is this count indicating?
Indicate how many times the while loop what's it called? The process of while loop.
No. If it is a process of while loop, then this count will not be inside an if statement. This count how many times this if statement is satisfied. It means that it counts how many times this condition is true and this condition is true. And what is these two conditions? This condition is checking if the number is multiple of 3, and this condition is checking if the number is not multiple of 5. So this count is only incremented if both are true, because there is an and here. So we have an and. So both must be true. And then only then we say the count plus plus. So for the numbers from here until here, we will always keep checking these two conditions. If they are satisfied, we increment the count. So we will count how many times this condition is actually satisfied. Not this only one, this two actually. One and second. Am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear.
Yes, please write this code.
So that means the count only it counts how many it satisfies the if statement, right?
Do you mind repeating again? Sorry.
The count plus plus, it counts on how many it satisfies the if statement.
Yes. How many times the if statement was satisfied? Yes. Yes. Is that clear, or I need to explain it more?
No, it's clear. Just need to verify.
Okay, no problem. After you write that code, please share it with me. Okay.
Sure. Can you see the screen right now?
Before I start to see your screen, If you don't mind, can you please add this part and also add this line? So I want you to print this line after here.
I can't see your screen.
Oh, really? Okay, so you stop sharing and then you see my screen, please.
So you want me to add what again?
I want you to add this line and you add a print statement after the while loop that subtract these two numbers and show the result.
Okay, well, again, if an if statement.
Which one? If statement. There is no if.
Oh no, so you want me to print out the print statement of 4542 minus 1327, is that right?
Yes, exactly. System.out.print line, you subtract those and print it out.
Can you see my screen?
And give me a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what is this number that is being printed?
I printed 3215. I think this is the number.
Okay, that's excellent. Okay, you added this x equals 0. So, okay, can you please, if you don't mind, come under this line and inside the loop add x plus plus. And then I want you to come and add another print and you print the value of x. But I want you to put x equal like that. And then you can run. Oh, okay. I want you to put print lines so that we are not confusing with, especially here. Okay. Now, that is quite weird. The value of x is quite weird. Do you understand now what is this x is doing?
Yeah. I think some, it's some the count until it become 17037. Is that right? Plus one.
So this x started from 0, and every time the loop runs, it got incremented by 1. So in short, this supposed to tell us x is an indication on how many times the loop actually will run. Because every time the loop runs, x will be automatically incremented by 1. But why x is different from number? Both are incremented. but why x will totally be different from num? Any idea?
Because the num, we only wanted to find which number can be divided by 3, but not can be multiplied by 5.
Partially, your answer is correct partially, but it's not the one that I aim to. I want to listen to see that num is different from x because num does not start from 0 like x. So you see here num start from a certain number because this is the requirement of the exercise. So we want to keep incrementing that number until it reaches this, right?
Yeah.
But x in the other side starts actually from 0. So it is totally, its only purpose in this case is to actually count how many times the while loop runs.
Okay.
Okay. So can you add another number, please, another print statement, and put the value of num? I mean, I want to see the value of num after we finish the while loop. Wow. Something is a bit strange. How come num is actually this value? Wait, give me a second, please. Ah, you make a mistake here. That's why the numbers did not tally. Okay, okay. Okay, let me share my code again, please. Let me share the original exercise code. I want you to check. That's why, yeah. Okay, I want you to check here the condition that you put and the condition that is here.
Oh, okay, now I see. I put as count instead of num.
Yes, so that is a big difference. Okay, now you still sharing, right? Yeah, share, please. Now start to run with the correct code. Okay, so now we should have a better numbering here. So the numbers totally change from after you change the condition. So can you see num now? What is num?
Yeah.
Okay, and what the value of num, what is its relation to here?
It add only one.
Yes. So
one number.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So first, if we test if the num reach 4, 5, 4, 2, and then you check this condition. So this is the value of num, and we're checking this condition. So it's true. Actually, it is equal. They are both equal. So that's why we run this while statement again. And then once we reach here and we increment num to become +1, it means that we add 1 here like that. It becomes 4, 5, 4, 3. If we go to the while condition and check it again, we are actually, this condition become false. It does not become true anymore. Because this is not less than this. It is already bigger by 1. Am I right?
Yeah.
Once you do that, once this condition fail for the while, we will exit the while loop. We will stop executing that lines. That's why you see here num as this number. Okay, and then why the x is equal 3216, which is one value above this. So this is a result of this print, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the X is only one value above. So
So that means it's like it counted on how many the count the value of count utilized inside the if statement.
no, these two have no relation to the count itself. The count is checking a certain condition, and if you print the count, it will be a totally different number other than the num and x. What we wanted to say that we wanted to increment this while loop will start running from this number. Can you see here? This while loop will start running from this as a start, and we will keep incrementing the num plus plus until we reach 4, 5, 4, 2. So we start from here, we end our loop once we exceed that. So once we reach 4, 5, 4, 2, or 4, 3 actually, so here the while will end. So we started running from here, we reach it here, we check our condition and count it, whatever number that satisfies that condition, and we store that in actually account. But at the end, to know how many times you run the loop, you subtract this number from this. So you will see the difference between this and this. So if I tell you, I want you to actually make a loop that count from 1 until 350, are you able to tell me how many times the loop will run to count, to actually count or run from 1 until 350? Are you able to tell?
49. Is that?
Yes, you can say like that, or even yeah, you can say like that. So you subtracted this from this, and then you tell me the result, right?
Yeah.
And the same also goes here. If you want to know how many times the while loop runs, starting from here until here, you subtract this from this. Am I right? Is it logic?
Yeah, it's logic.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So that's why I want you to differentiate what is the purpose of X and what is the purpose of num. They are both serving a different purpose. X can tell me how many times. So okay, what about if you can you please do me a favor? Are we able to change num to 1 and change this number to actually 350? You can run and tell me what is the result. So, okay, forget about, you have to comment that line because this is just printing. Okay. So X is telling us that we already run 3, 4, 9 times, but yeah, this is actually 350 times you already run. Okay, but bear in mind X started from 0. So when you told me that it is 349 just a while ago, actually it makes sense because you started from 0 and then until you reach
350.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is actually makes sense. So now is it clear what you are doing now?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Okay, so I think we will stop here. Let me understand, should we continue our class on Thursday or we keep it on Monday?
What do you think? Because I don't mind if it's Monday or Thursday.
Okay.
Because last time Monday I think I had a very I had to drive for 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said I want to postpone Monday because my body was tired. I'm afraid that I was not able to be as what's it called? More focused on class. That's what I'm afraid of.
Let me check the schedule, my schedule, and I'll let you know about if we change or not. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Then see you next class. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.